Good morning, good afternoon, depending on folks. It's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bun, talking to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this weekend we have a big show. It is the New York Pro, and it's one of the few shows this month that has women's bodybuilding. The rest of the shows will not have. I think you guys a show coming up, and next week's gonna have women's bodybuilding. Another one, you need to figure or women's physique or women's bodybuilding. So I'm not gonna talk about the show, but I will talk about the show. I am watching the show tomorrow, because as you know, I want to support any show that gives opportunity for women's bodybuilding to be highlighted, and also just my respect and my love for this division. So anyway, New York Pro, as you know, it's promoted by Steve Weinberger and also Bev Francis. Bev Francis really changed sport of bodybuilding when she came in the game. That's pretty much about 40 years ago. And even though they're not together as husband and wife, they're still together as partners in businesses. So New York Pro, yeah, remember years ago they dropped women's bodybuilding, but then they brought it back in physique, and it's great. It's a great show. So I saw the list. I wanted to wait a little bit before I post this because you never know how to change. But they told me that the deadline for it ended Monday. So if you're not registered, then you're not competing at the show. But the list for women's bodybuilding is, wow, this has gotta be. This is a big show. You would think that this could be, but last year I think we had 6 competitors. I don't know. Sometimes some competitors feel like they want to do a show too early in the year, and then the cost and everything. I talked to people who tell me that sometimes the cost from last season's prep can really be a burden to some competitors. But still, my concern is I think that maybe next year we may not see women's bodybuilding at New York Pro, but let's hope and cut our fingers crossed. Remember one time Pittsburgh only had 3 women, and look how it happened to that. But we just need people to maybe step up, maybe help a little bit. So you see the list here. We have 3 ladies, and 2 ladies just competed just last month. First off, we have a lady I had pleasure of being on my channel, Miss Lena Betak. Lena, she's been competing for quite some time. This is her second year as a pro, and this is going to be her second show. Last year she did both the Triple O and the Vancouver, and she did Vancouver last month, which got second. Pretty impressive. It was a very close battle between her and Chelsea Dion. Amazing lady, originally from Ukraine, and I enjoyed the opportunity interviewing her. Next up, we have a lady who's been a multi-time Olympian, and she was in the top 5. She was actually number 4 this past Olympia in women's bodybuilding. That is Nita Caposoto. If I got her name wrong, I apologize. Now, Nita, she's been, doing pretty good. I remember one year she did like 3 pro qualifiers. She won 2 shows that, one, she won her first women's bodybuilding was in 2021 and got a qualification for the Olympia that year. Then did another show and won. And then she won a second qualifier for 2022. And, and I know 2023 took a step back because, she was dealing with some stuff. She did the Rising Phoenix that year, and then she took some time off. Then she decided to come back and compete this year, actually last year. But, Chris Physique, been a fan of hers for quite some time. Just hope she does well at this show. And next that we have here, who's already qualified for the Olympics. This is going to be her 3rd show, and that is Chelsea Dion. She just got her 3rd Olympic qualification at the Van Island show, which was last month. She was in the top 3 of the Triple O Dynasty show. She says she'll do the show. This is a lady who said that if there's not enough ladies for women's bodybuilding for the show, it's a chance that we may not have it next year. Let's keep our fingers crossed for Chelsea. Chelsea's very impressive. She really has put on some size. Really have, I think her boyfriend's been working with her. I remember she did an interview with Female Bodybuilding Channel. Her boyfriend worked for her. She was with Nasir, but she's working with her boyfriend now. And I think he really, made some really good changes for her. She really put on some size, and conditions got a lot better. So I think possibly this might be a 3-way battle, depending how Alina look and also how Nadia looks. It could be a really tough competition here. It's anyone's game. But here's the thing this is why I wish we had more bodies, because really we want to see some contrast. First person who should be the show was going to play this show, but she dropped out because she had to, she was doing some stuff and she felt like she needed more time. That is Big Jane. And, I interviewed Big Jane, a couple of days ago. And she talked about the reason why she was dealing with an injury, and then she felt like she needed more time to really bring in better condition. I'm a big fan of Big J. I wish she did this show anyway, but understand it's important for you to bring your best look, and I think Toronto Super Show might be that show that might get it there. Next up is a lady who is not too far from where the New York Pros are. Actually, New York Pros in New Jersey, in the Teaneck. That is Teresa Vasek. She last competed at the Triple O, where she placed fourth. And you remember she won the show the year before. And you want to do a show, you're in Pennsylvania, and New Jersey's not too far from Pennsylvania. I think you probably will rather go a little closer. But that's up to her. Next up, the lady who I heard that doing an interview with my man Glenn at the Amazon Fitness Magazine podcast, that she was planning on doing the show too, and that is Mayla Ash. Mayla was in the top 5 of the Triple O, and she mentioned she was going to do the show, but my guess, she might feel like she needs more time. So let's possibly might see Mayla either doing Toronto. She's done it before because she won a qualification there about a couple years ago, or probably doing Atlanta again, or maybe going overseas, because she's good for going overseas and doing competition. So let's see what Mayla's going to do. Next up is Lisa Coldry, and Lisa has never done a show before, and she's not too far. She is in Canada. This would be a great opportunity for her. Lisa earned a qualification for her first Olympic qualification in Canada back in Toronto back in, I think it was 2022. She did kind of bounce back for Team Physique Women's Bodybuilding, but now she's selling women's bodybuilding. So, this would be a great show to do, just for the bodies. I know. And one person I felt like should do this show is Lavinia Bottles. Lavinia, she was second to Ashley last year. Impressive young lady. And she's a 2-time Olympian. Remember she won her first Olympian back in, I think it was 2022. It was a show that when they had her and Alcione Barreto. And then they dropped women's bodybuilding. I think you dropped women's physique from that show. And then she turned around and she won the 2023 Romanian Muscle Fest, which got a qualification for 2024 Olympia. Impressive physique, still young. And I think she's not even 30 yet. So, I was hoping she might do the show, but I think she's trying to shoot for another show. We'll wait and see what show it's going to be. She hasn't announced it, and also I don't speak and understand Brazilian if she hasn't said anything yet. Now we have the list here for physique, and it's a deep lineup, and you see it from the name. But like I said, here's the thing is, when you do alphabet order, you should go by the alphabet of your last name, not the middle name. I don't know why they do that. I've seen other competitors they go by their last name, but this person gets special treatment. But you know how I feel. But anyway, most of these just did the Pittsburgh Pro last weekend. And, pretty much in the good number here are some Olympic competitors here. First off, is technically should be first is Brigitte. I don't want to say her nice name, from Australia. She took fourth at the Pittsburgh Pro. This lady, I feel like she should jump over and do women's bodybuilding instead of doing physique. I think, being how stacked this show here is, I think she should get opportunity. I don't know, but that's just me. Like I said, I'm just outside looking in. And, some things that the judges see, that's what they see, but I think she would be better off women's bodybuilding. I think she should jump over women's bodybuilding and see how she does in New York. Maybe she might even place, or even get an Olympic qualification that way. Next up is one Miss Tori Bookinson and Tanya Bookinson. She was women's physique for a good while, and she last competed in figure. She's a Texas Pro. So this will be her turn to physique. Next up we have here is, you know who. She's won a show back to back in the past, and I feel like she's going to win again. I have no doubt she's going to win this, because Natalya is very much a favorite among the judges and also of the fans. If she loses, I'll be surprised. It's just that I think the one person I think that could possibly take it from her, especially if the judges are particularly going for a particular look that looks like what is the level of what you consider, is physique, is last year's champion, and that is Sharonka Hinton. But Sharonka's already number 3 in the world. So, just to do the show, cool, I understand that. But still, you already got your spot. But, I'm a fan of Sharonka Hinton, and, I still feel like you already got your spot. But she might come back, because this was the show that got her Olympic qualification after almost 3 or 4 years not competing in bodybuilding. Next up we have is Jai Hai Lee, and she's also Olympian, and she was, I think, in the top 10 at the Pittsburgh Pro. She's from South Korea. Like I said again, she did a show, I think it was 2022, where her and Natalia were in the top two. So, it's just a long time we tried. I think she did it last year too. Or was that another girl? You know. Next up, we have Amanda Machado. Now, Amanda, she's been, competing for quite some time. She did a couple of shows last year. She did both Atlanta and Chicago, where she took second place to Anna Harris. Pleasure physique, but she might crack the top five, if she's lucky. Like I said again, you have Natalia there, and you remember when I put my prediction of who was going to be top five, it was just totally different from what I actually saw. But let's see how she does. She looks very impressive from what I've seen her, and she's on social media. Next up, we have the lovely Mrs. Robin Mays. As you know, Miss Robin Mays is already qualified for the Masters Olympia, and she's a impressive lady, especially in her late 50s, almost 60. Now, she won the women's 40 class over at the Emerald Cup, and she's, I guess again, already qualified for the Masters Olympia. So she might be shooting for that show that's coming up in August, and I wish her best of luck. Next up we have here is Renee Miller. Now, Miss Miller was originally in figure, but now she's making a move to women's physique. Follow on social media, very impressive, good muscle, a little more size, but she might do fairly well. Like I said again, we have quite a few Olympic level competitors here. She might see how she does in this show. Next up, we have a lady I also have the pleasure of being on my channel, one Miss Oksana Priari. Priari took second at the Emerald Cup. I think she's already going to the Masters Olympia. I remember a while back when I interviewed, she was planning on going to the 2023 show, but circumstances happened. Issue with visa, I don't know what's going on. If anyone thinks she's Russian, whatever else. But I hope she does well. Next up we have is Paula Ranta. Paula made the switch last year from figure to physique, and she did at least about 5-6 shows, coming up in top 2 couple. I know in when she did her first show that was in Spain, the Imperial, she took second to Sandra, who I'm present interviewing, and then she did a few more shows after that, cracking the top 5. But it's still young, and I think from what I'm seeing on social media, she really has put on her size. Maybe she should have did this, and this is just my opinion. Took that year off and just put on size and competed this year. I think she would have done a lot better. But let's see how she does. And next up, doing her second show since her pro D was Miss Christine Salis. And impressive lady. She done pro last year at the Masters USA's. And this is going to be her second show as a pro. Now, I don't do too often. But I'll say, could be horse. That's on my tongue. I've been spending my interest in figure a little bit. Because, like I said, it's a division that's getting that same kind of stink out like Ezekiel with his bodybuilding. You didn't get cut from shows. So even the Golden Classic don't have it. But I even did a thing where I said, you know what, I might even talk about it. But the problem is, I don't know all the competitors. So I said, well, let me just condense it to the competitors that I do recognize that's on this list. And some of the competitors that, are notable. First up, we have here from Canada, Nicole Drubort. And, she made her debut just last weekend at the Pittsburgh Pro. And, there's a stacked lineup. A lot of these ladies who just did the Pittsburgh Pro last weekend are doing the show. Next up we have is Rebecca Fabrel, who also made her pro debut at Pittsburgh. She's from the UK. We have is Nicole Zenobia Graham. Now, Nicole has been a multiple Olympian. I know you before she had taken some time off because of personal reasons. She was in the top 5 for the Pittsburgh Pro Women's Figure. I should say figure. Well, you got men's classes, so I call that men's figure. But she's a pretty impressive lady. Followed her a while. We have in one Miss Gina Kessel, who's from Germany. Then we have here is Manuela Lima, and I believe she also made her pro debut at Pittsburgh. Next up we have is Ardenia. I don't know how to say she's from Slovakia. I mean, she's been competing for quite some time. We have Hannah Prouse. Now, Miss Prouse is from Germany. She before she did the Pittsburgh show, she was at the FIBO show, which was a show she done, which was about a month or so ago. It was like right by the time started the season. Impressive lady. I mean, you saw her getting interview with Claudio over at the as his hardcore female bodybuilding fan channel. I might reach out to you because she speaks English pretty good. Next up, we have Lena Rumsteiner. And Lena has been a multiple-time Olympic competitor. Impressive young lady. I mean, I know last year she did a lot of shows back to back. And this is the one I said to myself, I think she could do well in women's physique. I mean, her body just really has changed, and we put on some size. But she's still young. I think she's just in her mid-20s. But you never know, she might make that transition one of these days. Next up, we have is one Miss Natalia Sotero. Now, Miss Sotero has been top 5 in figure at the Olympia for the last few years. Impressive lady, impressive physique. She might do well. She might be even possibly contender for the title now that Cindy Gillen has stepped away from competitive bodybuilding. And last we have here is Jennifer Znert, and she's also from Germany, and she won the FIBO, which was I think month 4 last, and she also competed at the Pittsburgh Pro. I mean, impressive. Those girls are being busy. I think it's easy to turn around compared just like bikini, but it does take a lot of time to bring additional size, and you have to come from another country too. But she might do well this show. Maybe crack top 5, especially you don't have the Lola Montez at this show and a couple other ladies who competed at the Pittsburgh last weekend. So, and again, the New York Pro is going to be tomorrow. It's going to start 8 o'clock. Women's bodybuilding will start out first, and then physique come on later. And then I think physique is the same time with the figure same time with physique. So check it out. Support these competitors, and guys out there, if you have the means of the way to do this, reach out to Steve Weinberger and see if you can help out for next year's, like maybe shoot the prize money. I think one thing what got a big crowd for Pittsburgh last year, for this year, was because I think the prize money went up. And I think some people didn't feel like Natalia competed that show. Remember, there was only 3 competitors at Pittsburgh, 5 women in physique at St. Louis. But we want women's bodybuilders to have some shows. Don't lose any more shows like we did this year. So if you're someone who has a way to do with it and have some kind of way, just some charity, reach out to Steve Weinberger. Right here, you can see the link to his to their YouTube channel. I mean, to their IGs here, and also to their website. You want to check them out. Reach out to Beth Francis and see if you can maybe, I don't know, donate and maybe be a promoter for women's bodybuilding for prize money and sanction fees next year. I know somebody said somebody else is helping out, but then I think you need a lot more help. If you raise the prize money a little bit, maybe make it more ascendant for ladies who want to come out and step up and compete in women's bodybuilding. That'd be great. So check it out. I'm gonna leave the link to the description. You want to check the live stream? I was a couple of days ago. They did have a early bird special. I should have did a video when then, but I was still putting some things together. And I'm sorry, guys, but you have to pay the full price. But I'm paying the discount. But that's why you always should check, on your social media when these shows come out. They do have early bird specials and save you a few bucks. So anyway, check it out. Saturday is going to be starting the early in the morning for the prejudging and later in the evening for the finals. Anyway, this has been Always Joe Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out.